So Tyrese Haliburton has not been great this year. Honestly, it's been a rough year for him. It was a rough end to last year. The playoffs, he got injured, and it was like he was trying to make sure you play enough games to get into an all NBA team, and yeah, it was a weird year. It's a weird all around situation for Tyrese Haliburton last year. But I will say with him, this year it's been kind of worse. And if you guys agree or disagree, subscribe. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by Christmas. If we get to 5.7k by the end of the day, that'd be absolutely insane. But anyway, we have got to talk about Tyrese and not only how poorly he's playing, one hilarious stat. So there's a video, obviously, we've seen like AM Hoops and stuff talking about making videos about Tyrese Haliburton. On the season, he is averaging 16, 3, and 8.8 assists, which is not ideal for him. But obviously, yesterday he had a really, really good game and a win against New Orleans. But ironically, as bad as he's been shooting, again, also from the field, he's shooting 39%, 32% from 3, and 83% from the line. When Caitlin Clark is in attendance, Tyrese Haliburton is in fact averaging 34.5 points, nearly 14 assists, and 2.5 steals a game on 56, 46, 83 shooting splits. When Caitlin Clark is in attendance, Tyrese Haliburton turns into one of the single best guards in the entire NBA, which is absolutely a hilarious one. He's a borderline MVP with Caitlin Clark. This is like the whole Jordan Poole meme when like certain people were in attendance, he would just absolutely go ham. But with Tyrese Haliburton, a lot of the kind of the reasoning people are making, like a lot of people when they're talking about Tyrese Haliburton, they're like, you know what, the actual issue is, it's the hamstring injury from last year. He's like struggling to get any lift, he's struggling to move. But then there's the occasional game where he looks back to his old self. I think he's just going through a little bit of a slump. And the reality is like when players are at the level of NBA players are, you kind of can go through a slump. Like he's not a superstar. The only thing when it comes to Haliburton is that he's just really good. He's a really good player. And even if he is like struggling a little bit through injuries, I think if he ends up not being an all-star, not making an all-NBA team, and the Pacers end up being as bad as they've been, because they've already paid Pascal Siakam. So like they're kind of stuck to what they have long term, and there's no point breaking it all up right now. So if you are the Pacers who have been 8 and 10, like you are in the Eastern Conference. That's the only positive, is that you can get to that 5th seed. You're a game off the 5th seed. I repeat, you are a game off the 5th seed. Yes, you've been bad. Yes, if you were in the Western Conference, you would be tied 12th with the Sacramento Kings, but it makes no difference. You are the 5th seed right now. Like, the conferences are super, super tight. Although right now the best two teams are in the Western Conference, or in the Eastern Conference. The Orlando Magic 12 and 7. Knicks are 10 and 7 and 4th. Like 10 and 7 would what? That would get you the 7th seed in the West. So it's just a really, really good. It's been a really good Western Conference in general. But for the East, it's such a weak conference that I think they're going to be fine. I think the Pacers are going to be fine. And the hope is that Haliburton is able to at least pick that up. Like, he doesn't need to average... What did Tyrese Haliburton average last season? But again, it's the shooting. It's the... just kind of everything when it comes to Haliburton has been down on the year. Like, last season, for his career, he's averaging 17.2 points per game. Almost identical assists to this, 8.7 a game. Last year could have just been a fluke, to be fair. Like, last season he's at 47%, 36% from 3. Actually, that was his lowest percent from 3. This year is by far his lowest 3-point percentage. But like last year he averaged 20.1 points, and the year before 20.7 points. So yeah, obviously, yeah, this year is a big drop. It's actually the worst he's been since he's gone to Indiana. Jesus. But yeah, like, I think it'll pick up. It's just the shooting percentage are down. If they go back up, he'll be fine. He's turned the ball over less this year, if that means anything for you guys. So it's just been a bit of a blip. isn't moving. Again, he's not moving the greatest. He played 69 games last year. Maybe they do sit him. Maybe they do sit him. Maybe they do just hope that he figures it out, because we've seen enough games where he has looked like Tyrese Haliburton, and I think it's hard to say that he's injured right now or that resting would make him better, because he looked fine last night. And it's not like a Luka Doncic situation. Like, we remember Luka in the playoffs last year. Yeah, there were some like vintage Luka games. The man couldn't walk. Like, we were seeing Luka Doncic's knees bleeding, him like limping around the court and like jogging and using his size, and it's like he's clearly injured. Like, especially with Luka, even at the start of this season, like, the guy was clearly still injured. We saw it with Slovenia how bad he looked in the Olympic qualifying. That like the guy is still like not extremely injured, like that's a bad way of describing it, but like the guy was clearly hurt. Like clearly hurt. But yeah. It'll be an interesting one for the Pacers, because the Pacers realistically go where Tyrese Haliburton goes. Like, I like Miles Turner as a player. Miles Turner is not like the type of player that would just instantly change. Like, you'll notice if you lose him, but he's not going to be a guy to carry your team. Same with a Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam's a really good player, but he's not a guy that's going to be able to like carry the offensive load. And that's where Tyrese Haliburton has to do. Whether it is like, if the shooting does pick up, his passing, everything is just gotta improve. Like, I think now teams, because the Pacers have been good for the first time, not that they figured out the Pacers, that they figured out the Pacers better. Like, they know how to deal with everything Tyrese Haliburton does and everything he brings to a team a bit better. And I think it's just going to be a case of Tyrese Haliburton trying to figure it out. If not, if that doesn't work out, Indiana just pay Caitlin Clark to be courtside for every game. I think she'd do it. I think she'd show up courtside as much as she can. Just pay Caitlin Clark to be courtside, because that seems to be the one way this season of getting the best out of Tyrese Haliburton, or getting Tyrese Haliburton to look like the Tyrese Haliburton of the last couple of years. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Am I just talking nonsense right now? Who knows? Who knows? We'll see anyway later on in the season when it comes to Tyrese Haliburton, whether or not he improves, whether or not he regresses, and just how good a player the guy can end up being in his NBA career. Because I do think Tyrese Haliburton is a guy that has an awful lot of potential to be one of the best point guards in the NBA for quite a long time. So yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe.